But for me, I enjoy it. It says something. It's loud. It's proud. It gets anger out. It gets excitement. It's the adrenaline. It's the testosterone. I don't know. Maybe.
Especially when Mandy does it.
Yeah, I'm full of testosterone.
Wait till you see Mandy on stage playing the solo of "Can You Hear Me." It's one of the most inspiring.
Best
things
female
I've ever seen on
guitarist.
stage. Yeah, best female guitarist.
Yep.
Well, it just shows
you're
like
so
each
kind.
of you get to show your talent. Now, do you in the band? Each of you get to show your talent throughout the show itself. Like we hear you play that guitar there,
Yeah.
Mandy. Yourself, you get to boom out to the audience. Like, look at what I can do.
Oh yeah, I always pretend that whatever I'm playing at that moment is the hardest thing anyone's ever played on guitar.
Make them just feel
Yeah.
your pain, the blood, the fingers
Yeah.
burning,
Yeah, well, Rob always talks about how we don't have a lead and rhythm guitar in our band, we just have left and right guitar,
Right.
which makes it feel much more democratic, and we can step forward and step back.
It's stereo in stereo, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Left and right, and we stack our amps on one side of the stage to just clobber you.
I thought you just did that to screw everyone up.
Yeah, so nobody can tell which guitar the sound's coming
That's the
from.
point. It's sort of meant to be almost indecipherable. The parts are really distinct, but they're just supposed to work together as this wall of sound. It's really what inspires us. I think that's how our sound is characterized. It's a wall of sound with vocal melodies that tie them all together.
So what inspired you to become you? Both of you. Like each of you take a turn. Why do you play guitar? What and who was it that brought you to formulate your own thing? Like throughout life, parents play a part in our lives. Our siblings, if we have them, play a part. If not, it's the cousins or the kids we play with, and then we start developing our love for someone's talent and say, I love that. I can do that maybe better. And then who formulated you? Like, what was it? 2 or 3 different bands? One musician? 2 musicians? It's a tough one.
Well, that is, and that's a very loaded question. I just thought that Malcolm X once said that every single moment of your life shapes who you are and what you've done.
That's right.
So in order to really
Go
understand
left,
someone,
you should have went right. You went right.
if you look that way or that way, that's going to
Here
completely
comes that
change
speed
it.
bump.
So, in my case, it was just an evolution, starting back from, Motown through to, you and I were talking earlier about the Beatles and how I kind of laugh when bands say they're influenced by the Beatles, because I think if you've lived on Earth since 1964, whether you're a musician or not, you've been influenced by the Beatles, so that's just obvious. In my case, Pearl Jam's been a big influence, just everything they've done through their career. The shoegazer bands from the UK, My Bloody Valentine, and which spawned into sort of Oasis and Blur and everything, were really huge. Folk singers, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, making sense of very complicated issues through direct means.
What was your first album? First song?
The first record I ever had was New Kids on the Block.
Oh, there we go.
That's where it started.
I think for me, playing the guitar has been as much a journey about growing up and figuring out who I am as a woman as it has been about the music. Because music can be so presumed male that playing electric guitar as a woman I find it to be extremely powerful. And as I've been sorting out who I am as a person, it's been a great tool in figuring out how I relate to the world and how I want the world to see me and who I can be different in the world, if that makes.
Chick rock is cool, girls. And then I proved that one when I had an interview with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And then my girls went, yes, Father, yes, you are the ultimate.
If I could be half the musician that Joan Jett is.
Oh, she is such a sweet.
And Kim Deal, she's like the coolest person who's ever been.
Yes. In the 70s, when that band came out, I was just like overwhelmed. I went like, chicks can rock, man. They're good looking and they can rock,
There's so much to be learned from pop music, and I think also from electronic music. I've been really listening to Kraftwerk lately and seeing how they take. I'm serious. It's brilliant. The fact that basically their song "Computer Love" gave Coldplay, that. What song of theirs is Talk, where they basically took that song and then realized when they're about to release it, oh shit, we're gonna get sued again, so we have to ask them for permission to use their song. But when you have these things that aren't typically, they don't sound like what your band sounds like, but you sort of look at the way that they put chord progressions and melodies together. Like, I played in a band called Paper Moon for a little while, who were based in Winnipeg, and they were in Vancouver, and I joined them for a bit, and this is when I was sort of reconceptualizing paint and what do I want paint to be, and Paper Moon was so unapologetically
Jodie
pop.
Foster's movie based on that band, right?
I think that, or it's only Paper Moon. I think, but I kind of like putting that limitation. Like with Paper Moon, it was we sing songs that are really poppy. We're not going to apologize about that. And I think that regardless of what you're doing, to have that conviction and don't apologize. And that's what we do in Paint. Like, this is what we do. The guitars are loud, the melodies are soaring and poppy, and they get stuck in your head. And we're not going to apologize.
I'm a
for the
guitar
fact
man.
that
I
we do
love the sound of the guitar. Like
Yeah.
you said, your dog
Well,
is.
if we're talking about pop music, Peter Gabriel said it really well. He said that if you give artists no limitations, they're just going to go off into this sort of self-indulgent universe. You have to actually impose structure and say, okay, well, we're only going to play songs with this instrumentation. The structure is going to go verse, chorus like this. And I kind of like having those boundaries and working within them.
Yeah, I don't think
And
Robb's gonna start rapping over the beat anytime
No,
soon.
please don't. No offense to rap.